Hello, my name is Dr. Michael Mack. I'm one of the residents here at the University of Calgary, here to explain to you Vitreoretinal Training B, Posterior Hyaloid Detachment, Posterior Hyaloid Training Level 2. In this particular level, your job is to aspirate and induce a PVD without the use of triamcinolone. So the level here does not give you the option of using the triamcinolone, and instead you have to try to visualize where the edge of the vitreous is. It's a little challenging because you can get pretty close to the retina and inadvertently cause a retinal tear or damage to the retina with your cutter. So here you notice that there's still that small little central hole where the vitreous can be lifted off with gentle aspiration. And then I'm using a relatively high cut rate and lower aspiration rate compared to that with triamcinolone because I can't visualize the vitreous quite well. So I'm continuing on my cutting here, making sure that I expand that skirt of vitreous closer to that of the periphery. So there's a little bit more work in the inferior. I really recommend to you that you can switch hands in order to be able to better get the vitreous on the other side. So it's quite easy to try to be lazy and just use the cutter in one hand or the dominant hand, but you will have a hard time reaching over to get the vitreous on the other side if you don't actually use your left hand. So here I've switched to the 120 diopter lens just so that I can better visualize the periphery, and then I just start at one sector there, lifting off where I can. Again, high cut rate, low aspiration rate, so that I can get as much of the peripheral vitreous as possible. You just have to be very careful that you're lifting and cutting, almost like a very gentle dissection, because if you don't do that and you just lift too hard, especially in the periphery, the vitreous likes to induce a retinal tear. As you know, the vitreous adhesions there are quite strong. So you're continuing to cut here. And then we're just continuing to cut as much as we can. So now I've switched hands and I'm able to get to the other side and try to lift and cut very gently as well. Scleral depression in this particular aspect right underneath the port may be helpful in this case. You also want to evenly cut the skirt of vitreous, because if you don't cut evenly, what happens is that your one sector that you're trying to lift and cut may actually aspirate the peripheral vitreous in the surrounding areas, and that can induce tears as well. You want to have as few tears or no tears as possible, otherwise you're not going to be able to score well in this particular level. So I'm just going back to the other side because I noticed that there's still a little bit of peripheral vitreous left. You just want to cut that away as best as you can. So in that particular attempt, we scored 95. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.